How's your mama? So, you're that hotshot FBI agent I keep hearing about.
And who might you be?
I came to claim the body of my daughter. My daughter, who was murdered in a holding cell after you detained her yesterday.
Zach, I wasn't expecting to run into the final boss this early. You must be the head of the Clarkson family, P.J. Clarkson. And you've come to claim the body of Galena Clarkson, whose dismembered corpse was found early this morning. Is that correct? Where did you learn that Galena had been murdered? Zach and I just learned of the news ourselves.
This is Lou Corey. And I am P.J. Clarkson. There ain't a single thing I don't know about this town.
I see. So then you must also know about the severed roots ritual. I have a question for you, Philip. We suspect that Galena was murdered by someone from the Clarkson family. Have you given that possibility any consideration?
Listen up, you FBI piece of shit. You better watch your manners around my pa.
Shut up, Daniel.
But, sir... My bad, sir.
I'll have you know I once had 3 children. But I must not have raised them very well, because my son and my eldest daughter both ran away and never came back to me. The only one who stayed by my side was my second daughter, Galena. Then she done married Daniel here into the family and presented me with both an heir and a granddaughter. Seemed for a while as if things were finally starting to calm down. But then, someone corrupted both Galena and Lise. And I lost everything. Aside from my shit-heel son-in-law, that is. You understand me, FBI?
Galena's death is nothing but a loss for the Clarkson family.
That doesn't mean the Clarksons are automatically innocent, though. Humans don't always act out of self-interest, do they?
That mouth. You're starting to sound more and more like your mother. We're leaving, Daniel.
What? But my treasure...
Now, whether you end up being an angel or a demon, I reckon you're the man I've been waiting for all this time. Once you finish that autopsy and we're clear to take her home, I want you to give me a call.
They're phenomenal, Patty. So perfectly rural. Ominous statements, foul-mouthed insults. This town possesses a complicated system of communication that you just can't find in the city. Work-centric emails are so cold and lifeless. This is what true human connections feel like. Connections as visceral as blood itself.
So, Agent York, what's next on your agenda?
The last boss may have gotten the jump on us, Patty, but I didn't let him shake my resolve. I intend to obey the skeletal gentleman's oracles, and that's that. First, we should head to either the home of the person who discovered Lisa's body or to the town's medical facility. Well, Zach, what do you think? This is If this town has a symbol, it's got to be that bridge hanging over the bayou. Lift bridges are truly a rarity. Reminds me of Duluth, Minnesota. Remember what happened there? That man went to such great lengths to collect his victims' tongues. You know, the one who would French kiss them every day as they slowly decomposed. As I drove him to the station after his arrest, he started lecturing me on the proper way to give someone a kiss. Anyway, back to Duluth. They have a famous lift bridge there called the Aerial Lift Bridge. The lift bridge here is the first one we've seen since then, but this one looks a lot smaller than the Aerial Lift Bridge. Its smaller size was most likely chosen due to the width of the river and the sea level of this area. The height and structure of a bridge is what determines which sort of boats can travel down the river. Normal bridges' base heights are set at a higher point so that boats can freely pass underneath them, but I imagine it would
Hey, Agent York. Just so you know, dealing with Pastor Sanders is gonna be a big pain in the butt.
a big pain in the butt?
That's what I said. But I guess you have no choice but to obey your oracle, huh? I don't like hospitals.
Why not?
They soup folks up with medicine, cut 'em up, and then they try and act like they're your friends. Something ain't right about that, you know. It goes against the laws of nature. Plus, this is a church. So you got a pastor, a servant of God, actually playing God with his patients.
I think you have a point there, Patty. These days we can neither determine death nor reproduce without the help of modern medicine. Yeah, our world's become quite an unnatural one. Oh, excuse me.
This is Lucare. You need to watch where you're going, or someone might end up tripping you.
Zach, it's her. The stylish woman who watched Lise die.
I've been waiting for you, lost lamb.
Hi there, Pastor. Would you mind letting go of me? I'm in a bit of a hurry right now.
So pitiful. The Lord hungers.
Here we go again.
What?
Pitiful. Truly pitiful, my little lamb.
No, neither Zach nor I.
Oh, so pitiful. So pitiful, just pitiful. The Lord hungers. 1 can of Spam, 1 can of red beans, and 1 can of spinach. You are to offer up the taboo trinity.
Taboo? Don't you mean the holy?
Oh, how I pity you. Unlike us humans, the Lord never errs. Now, my pitiful agent, bring forth the taboo trinity at once. For it is the will of the Lord our God.
See? I told you this was gonna be a pain in the butt.
But Zach and I need to go after that stylish woman.
Too late now. We need to obey God's will.
The Lord hungers!
Come on, hurry it up. We need to go.
Well, Zach, I don't know what to say. First an oracle, and now an order from God? Maybe this is the trial that will yield the ticket to the goddess. Either way, it looks like we have no choice but to gather the taboo trinity. I guess it just goes to show that small towns are always filled with the bizarre and unpredictable. Bridges? Why? I've become obsessed with bridges, Zach, and there's no turning back now. Remember what we saw on our way here? Back when we were driving that hybrid car before we switched over to the skateboard. We passed over the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, the longest bridge over water in the entire world. Remember the sudden downpour that made it impossible for us to see the road? The rain was so torrential that we couldn't see more than a few miles ahead of us. I'm sure local drivers are used to that sort of thing. They were all going normal speeds. Although that scene reminded you of a certain film, or perhaps a certain person. Violent City, 1970, directed by Sergio Salini. I only ever saw it on TV when I was a kid, so I don't remember it very well. But I definitely remember that it featured a bridge, a long bridge. During the New Orleans part, that's the one thing I remember. That bridge must have been the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, and the film starred Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson. What an amazing sound. You couldn't possibly find another man whose name matches. Okay, Zach. It's time to put our skills to the test. Well, Zach, I'm afraid we won't be able to proceed any further like this.
Lucari Tiger to DC Eagle? Is everything alright?
Hello, Melvin. Sadly, my darling just gave out on me.
Your darling? You mean...
Yes, that's right. My beloved skateboard. I know the chances are slim, but do you happen to know of any establishments in town that can repair skateboards? Please, I hope this doesn't offend you. Neither Zach nor I would ever dare to assume that a remote country town like this would have a skateboard shop in it. But perhaps you have at least one eccentric who likes to tinker with them in their spare time.
I know just the person. double bass player by night, trick master by day. God blessed her with 2 talents, and her name is Emma Sanders.
Emma?
That's right. She's Pastor Sanders' adopted daughter, and was also Lise Clarkson's best friend. Emma really knows her stuff. She's got tools and a mountain of parts, so I'm sure she'll be able to help.
I owe you one, Melvin. Zach, I never thought we'd find our very own skateboard mentor out here in the sticks. Let's head straight to Emma. What is it, Zach? Why didn't I just ask the sheriff to tow away the old cars? But isn't it obvious? I want to overcome this obstacle using my own strength. In fact, I want to soar over it.
The air out there don't feel right today. You feel it too, honey? Oh, coming right up, honey.
Alexis, could I have some...
Oh, my Lord. We only serve red beans and rice on Monday. That's a meal you eat when you're busy, like folks usually are on Monday. It's been a tradition here in Louisiana for as long as I can remember. Wait, honey, don't tell me. You're the type who does your laundry every day? Oh.
Tradition, Zach. This is it. The Deep South. Louisiana. We need to obey tradition here and come back on Monday.
Hey, Agent York. I feel like someone's in there. Let's go and see.
Huh? What do y'all want? I'm kinda busy here.
Hi there. Are you Emma?
Yeah, who are you?
Francis York Morgan. I'm an FBI special agent. Please call me York. That's what everyone calls me.
Agent York? So, what does the FBI want with little old me? I already told the police everything I know about Lise.
Emma, I haven't come here to talk to you about Lise. Although I suppose it's sort of connected in a way. My darling is broken, and I need you to fix her.
You call your board your darling? I never heard that one before. All right, let me see it. I'll try and assess the damage. I replaced all your trucks, wheels, and gave you some brand new deck tape. Also, you were missing a tail guard, so I put one on for you. That way you should be able to do a few tricks here and there without any risk of damage. Well, what do you think?
It's beautiful, Emma.
The wheels were scraped down and the base plate screws were all about to fall out. Oh, and the axles were also warped. It was pretty much in critical condition. Now, what I want to know is, how did it get that way?
Well, my car was stolen on my way here from Houston. So, I switched over to my darling and rode her here instead.
You know, you're crazier than you look.
Emma, would you mind answering another crazy question for me? I want to use this board to soar, literally. Would you mind teaching me a trick that would allow me to do so?
You mean you want to do a wally? Ooh, well, I'd be happy to teach you how, but it's too cramped in here. Oh, I know where we should go. You want to learn too? You sure? Seems like you're interested. Whatever. I know you're just gonna come along anyway. So you should at least learn the basics. Okay, Agent York. Now we should have enough room to practice. I'll show you how it's done first, then you just practice till you learn how to do it, okay? That was perfect!
Yeah. Thank you, Emma. I only learned that new trick thanks to your guidance. Now I'm sure that Zach and I will be able to reach our destination without any trouble at all. Thank you for assisting in the investigation.
Glad to be of service. If your board breaks again, or you feel like customizing it a bit more, just stop on by my workshop. I'm pretty much always there during the day. I'm also taking some time off school because of what happened with Lise. Skating and playing music are the only things that help me escape the pain of losing her.
Zach, did you see the expression on her face just now? She works hard to act cheerful, but she's yet another person who was hurt by the tragedy. Lisa's death is like wildfire, spreading embers of sadness throughout the entire town. It really seemed like you knew who Galena Clarkson was.
Well, I've never actually talked to her, but it's a small town. Pretty much all folks know who the Clarksons are. And Galena's supposed to be extra scary compared to the rest of them. Back when we saw her in town, I felt like she was glaring right at me, so I got real scared. No one will come out and say it, but I'm pretty sure they're all relieved that she was the killer. We're lucky the killer ended up being a member of the Clarkson family. Otherwise, the whole town would have turned into a battlefield.
You've got a point, but did everyone really hate her that much?
They didn't hate her. She hated them. She had this real peculiar way of treating people. I don't know how to describe it.
Contemptful?
Yeah, I guess that's it. She never opened up to anyone in town.
She was rich, beautiful, and wanted to become an actress. So she went to a metropolitan city to refine herself. There's always a chance that people like her may develop prejudices towards those who stay in the countryside. A big chance, even. But just because a person has prejudices doesn't mean they'll go out and murder people. That's where my doubt lies. Was there any sort of omen which made people happy that she was the killer instead of someone else?
I'm just telling you how I feel. How am I supposed to know if everyone else in town felt the same way? I never thought she'd actually go and kill her own daughter, though.
There it is, Zach. It appears that her attempt to kill me wasn't simply a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Maybe she was sad.
Hey, Zach. No, nothing. So, what do you think of it? Yes, I'm talking about him. Boondock. Were you thinking about Galena too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states? Zach, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country. Incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed. This is the deep south. I feel it every time that molten hot sun pours down on me. Don't you, Zach? Hey, Zach, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right... Hey, Zach, it looks like we were right on the money. Tracing the Sang Rouge distribution route led us right to Louisiana. You know what that means. We've got a hot hand, and Lady Luck's given us far more favor than she ever has before. We just happened to hear news about Lisa's murder while sitting in a bar during our vacation in New Orleans. That certainly wouldn't have happened if we had stayed in D.C. They would have given the case to another special agent, or maybe even to the state, and then we never would have found it. In the end, it would have been shut up in that vast, desolate evidence vault along with all the other cases. Were you thinking about Galena too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the state?
Hey, Agent York, are you sure you really want to talk to this guy? He kind of scares me.
Patty, there's no need to worry. Just hide behind me and you'll be fine. Chuck Thompson, you were the first person to find Lisa's body, correct? I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, call me York. That's what everyone calls me.
Agent York. Seems like he ain't in the mood for talking.
Chuck Thompson, may I have a word with you? I'm looking for the one who fired the pistol at Heaven.
You trying to say I gotta aim up to shoot 'cause of my height?
Not at all. I was merely quoting the skeletal gentleman's oracle.
Skeletal gentleman? You ain't making a lick of sense. What do you all want anyway? What do y'all come here to waste my precious time for?
I'm currently running a race around town thanks to you, who fired the starting shot. The murderer and I are competing to see who can cross the finish line first. Unfortunately, the murderer got a generous head start on me. If he gets away from me, I'll lose. But if I can catch up to him, then I'm sure I'll win. So please, Chuck, tell me, how did you find Lisa's body? Her body was hidden under a bridge on the bayou, very close to the Mississippi River. It's got to be at least a few miles away from your farm in this swamp, right?
Oh, the Clarksons are the folks who gave me the damn permission to farm crawdaddies here in the first place. Now, why the hell would I ever want to kill that little girl?
Then what were you doing out there?
You know, lately I've been seeing a queer boat around these parts. It ain't too big. Probably only holds 5 or 6, and it's got a deep draft. Assholes think they can just drive right through my turf, right through my dang crawdad farm.
So you gave chase, which led you to Lisa's body.
Yeah, that's right. Fucking poachers.
Where did the poachers go?
Oh, hell if I know. Fog was thick that day, thicker than usual. So I lose sight of them. The next thing I know, I'm under that goddamn bridge. Then I felt a chill run up my spine. And I knew. So I drove up to the bank and got out. And there she was, strung up on that there altar.
Did you know Lise personally?
Yeah, I knew her a little. She never showed me no disrespect, unlike the rest of those damn Clarksons. They so rotten I can smell it from here, same as the shit at the bottom of this here swamp. Heavy, heavy. Yeah. There was a little better when their boy Lenny was still around.
Lenny?
Yeah, Leonard, PJ's son. He never showed me no disrespect neither. And he's the one who gave me permission to farm here. But, well, ever since he left home, his whole family's gone straight down the shitter. Lisa was the only decent one left. She was wise, just like Lenny. Ain't right, I tell you. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Now I'm done talking, goddammit. Now go on, get the hell out of here.
Philip mentioned something about his son leaving home. That must be Lenny. Did you know about that, Patty?
Everyone in town knows about it.
By the way, Zach, do you remember what we saw when we were skipping stones? That boat with the dragonfly crest. Zach, no matter where we go in this town, we're constantly assaulted by information related to the Clarkson family. Just where is that skeletal gentleman trying to lead us? We successfully found the one who fired the pistol at Heaven. Now we need to visit the White Hall of Beds. You know, Zach, it almost feels like we're orienteering here. Doesn't it remind you of our training in Quantico? Looks like a case of bad time. Let's come back. Okay.
Mr. York. Spam, huh? You a pot of meat kind of guy?
No, Melvin. I've simply gotten myself tangled up in a little mess.
Oh, I get it, Mr. York. The Lord hungers, right?
Yes, apparently the Lord is starving, and I'm a lamb with no sense of direction. Do you carry any canned goods here?
Canned goods? The vermin of the grocery store? Nay, I...
Understood, Mirror. Well then, if you'll excuse me.
Wait! Yes, I can see it. I can see the canned good thou seeketh.
How intriguing. Well then, where is the canned good I seek?
In a place where no man could ever peddle it.
I see. In a place where it can't be bought from a person. Got it, Mirror.
'Twas but a trifle, for the Lord hungers, doth he not?
Zack, it's in a vending machine. It appears that God wants us to go on a wild goose chase all around town.
Thou, verily. I can see it. Thou hath discovered the very...
Hey, want to talk about bridges? Why? I've become obsessed with bridges, Zach, and there's no turning back now. Remember what we saw on our way here? Back when we were driving that hybrid car before we switched over to the skateboard. We passed over the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, the longest bridge over water in the entire world. Remember the sudden downpour that made it impossible for us to see the road? The rain was so torrential that we couldn't see more than a few miles ahead of us. I'm sure local drivers are used to that sort of thing. They were all going normal speeds. I bet that scene reminded you of a certain film, or perhaps a certain person. Violent City, 1970, directed by Sergio Salini. I only ever saw it on TV when I was a kid, so I don't remember it very well. But I definitely remember that it featured a bridge, a long bridge. During the New Orleans part, that's the one thing I remember. That bridge must have been the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway. And the film starred Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson. What an amazing sound. You couldn't possibly find another man whose name matches his appearance so perfectly. Yes, of course I know that Charles Bronson isn't his real name. Charles Dennis Buczynski. That's his real name. But he's Bronson. Period. Zach, what's your favorite Bronson film? Death Wish? The Magnificent Seven? Rider on the Rain? Or Farewell Friend? They're all masterpieces. But to me, his greatest work lies elsewhere. Zach, you're a coffee person, right? No sugar, only milk. Yes, I'm completely with you on that one. Looks like a case of bad timing, Zach. Let's come back later. You didn't even twitch when you saw Galena's body.
Why would I? Dead things can't hurt us, right?
Girls your age don't usually think that way.
Do you have kids, Agent York?
No, I don't. I'm not married either.
Then you have no idea how girls my age usually think. Besides, I'm used to seeing dead bodies thanks to CSI, especially dismembered corpses like hers. You know, for a so-called profiling professional, you're pretty clueless.
In that case, allow me to apologize. But don't you think it's a bit of a leap to discount my observational abilities simply because corpses don't scare you?
I don't know. I mean, you're completely wrong.
Do you know what I was thinking back there then?
Of course not. I'm not a pro.
The same goes for me, Patty. No manner of pro could ever know 100% of what another person is thinking. Unless, of course, that pro has a mental connection with them, like Zach and I have. If I was telepathic, I wouldn't have joined the FBI. I would have taken over a small country or become a messiah.
Now who's making crazy leaps?
I will admit, though, Patty, I feel like you and I have something in common. We definitely have similarities, even though they aren't as strong as the ones that Zach and I share.
Whatever.
Perhaps you and I grew up under similar circumstances. We're both unique cases.
Huh? Unique cases?
In your case, your beautiful mother's second husband became your daddy. But then your mama got sick, forcing you to take care of things, while you used CSI as your escape.
Would you just knock it off? I ain't trying to act like some tragic heroine here. And I don't care that my daddy isn't the same color as me. You're way more narrow-minded than I took you for, Agent York.
Narrow-minded? You're just realizing this now? Of course I'm narrow-minded. I'm a selfish man who lives life according to his own rules, with no interest in common sense. Naturally, this makes me terrible at reading situations, and I often end up angering people by total accident. exist outside the realms of either. Still too early to tell, but it's clear that he'll be the key to uncovering this case's mysteries. Zach, we finally found our can of spinach. Look, Zach, even this vending machine is managed by Clarkson Food Delivery Services. But who in their right mind would sell canned goods in a vending machine in the middle of nowhere? I only hope that it's not expired. Looks like a case of bad. Let's come back later. About Galena, too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states. Zach, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country. Incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, deserts, and farmland, with small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, New York, Chicago, and LA are all microscopic. Sometimes they even feel like figments of my imagination. Think back to what Las Vegas looked like when we were driving up I-15. It was a mirage. The TV and movies dress up those mirages and broadcast them to people all around the world. Meanwhile, American women become fascinated by the gorgeous city lights and are drawn toward those illusions. The very same women who were chosen as prom queens in their small towns. In the end, all they find are ghosts. Once their eyes adjust to that Hey, Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that. Hey, want to talk about bridges? Why? I've become obsessed with bridges, Zach, and there's no turning back now.
How's the investigation coming? Must be going well if you're on the case.
Hey, Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that. If this town has a symbol, it's got to be that bridge hanging over the bayou. Lift bridges are truly a rarity. Reminds me of Duluth, Minnesota. Remember what happened there? Hey, want to talk about bridges? Why? I've become obsessed with bridges, Zach, and there's no turning back now. Remember what we saw on our way here? Back when we were driving that hybrid car before we switched over to the skateboard. We passed over the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, the longest bridge over water in the entire world. Remember the sudden downpour that made it impossible for us to see the road? The rain was so torrential that we couldn't see more than a few miles ahead of us. I'm sure local drivers are used to that sort of thing. They were all going normal speeds. I'll bet that scene reminded you of a certain film, or perhaps a certain person. Violent City, 1970, directed by Sergio Salini. I only ever saw it on TV when I was a kid, so I don't remember it very well. But I definitely remember that it featured a bridge, a long bridge, during the New Orleans part. That's the one thing I remember. About Galena, too, and all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states. Zach, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country, incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, deserts, and farmland, with small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, New York, Chicago, This is a vast country, incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, and deserts, and farmland, with small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, New York, Chicago, and LA are all microscopic. Sometimes they even feel like figments of my imagination. Think back to what Las Vegas looked like. Driving up I-15, it was a mirage. TV and movies dress up those mirages, broadcast them to people all around the world. Meanwhile, American women become fascinated by the gorgeous city lights and are drawn toward those illusions. The very same women who were chosen as prom queens in their small towns. In the end, all they find are ghosts. Once their eyes adjust to that blinding light, they realize there's nothing but vanity and lust surrounding them. They finally figure out that it was all in their heads. Then they quickly try to satisfy them. So, what do you think of him? This, we're talking about him. Uno, is the skeletal gentleman friend or foe? Or does he merely exist outside the realms of either? Still too... Hey, Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that.
Smarty Pants, what you want? Smarty Pants.
So, what do you think of him? Yes, I'm talking about him. Boondoggle. Is the skeletal gentleman friend or foe? Or does he merely exist outside the realms of myth? Still too early to tell. But it's clear that he'll have the key to uncover. About Galena, too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states. Zach, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country. Incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, deserts, and farmland, with small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, Zach, it appears to be. Let's come back.
Well, Bureau man, you ever catch them crooks? Bureau man.
So Professor R owns this place, and you manage it all on your own?
Pretty much, yeah. Professor R's really busy.
What sort of relationship do you have with her?
You interrogating me, Bureau man? Professor R is my boss. I'm her employee. End of story.
What's your job?
Bartenders make drinks and serve them. Yeah.
No special drugs on some secret menu?
Louisiana's got music. We don't need drugs.
Even in Louisiana, drug use is rampant.
Not here, it ain't. Folks come here to enjoy a drink and listen to some jazz. I came across this spot when I was looking for a place where my buddies and I could play. Professor R happened to be looking for a bartender to sell some drinks and keep track of the money. And if that bartender can also play some music on the side, well, that's a match made in heaven. It's just one big truth bomb, Bureau man. Irrefutable. Yeah. Now you're a man that can hold his liquor, Bureau man. You know, you remind me of someone.
Who?
A historical figure from another country.
Oh? Well, I'd certainly like to hear about him.
Michelangelo Buonarroti, the Italian sculptor. You know of his work?
The Pietà, David, Laocoon and his sons. If I listed everything, we'd be here all day.
He's famous for his sculpting work, but he was also a fantastic painter. The Sistine Chapel ceiling is definitely one of his best. It's on a whole nother level. Yeah.
I completely agree with you, bartender. But why did you bring up Michelangelo?
When Michelangelo painted that ceiling, he did it standing up, looking towards the heavens, for 4 long years. Little by little.
The ultimate task a single human can achieve over a period of 4 years. It truly is a masterpiece, worth every compliment. But why do I remind you of Michelangelo?
Bureau man, what are you in such a hurry for? All right. What I've been trying to say is, I bet it was a real pain in the ass to draw that whole thing.
And
your job is a pain in the ass, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Well, there you have it.
Have what?
Just another truth bomb.
Zach, he really got the jump on us back there. After all that dramatic build-up, I never expected him to reach such a vapid conclusion. Perhaps he's nothing but atmosphere. I'm completely outmatched, that's for sure. I could never hope to exude as much sheer atmosphere as that man, especially during such pointless conversations.
Well, Bureau Man. Sometimes folks feel like drinking. One more, yeah. You'll be back, yeah, Bureau Man? Remember, well, Bureau. Sometimes folks feel, yeah. You'll be back, yeah, Bureau. Remember,
Were you thinking about Galena too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states? Zach, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country. Incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, deserts, and farmland, with small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, New York, Chicago, and LA are all microscopic. Sometimes they even feel like figments of my imagination. Think back to what Las Vegas looked like when we were driving up I-15. It was a mirage. And TV and movies dress up those mirages and broadcast them to people all around the world. Meanwhile, American women become fascinated by the gorgeous city lights and are drawn toward those illusions. The very same women who were chosen as prom queens in their small towns. In the end, all they find are ghosts. Once their eyes adjust to that blinding light, they realize there's nothing but vanity and lust surrounding them. They finally figure out that it was all in their heads. Then they quickly try to satisfy themselves with something else. Drugs. And drugs are the gateway to a whole pantheon of crime. Zach, remember what you told me once? The women who turn to crime aren't the evil ones. The drugs aren't evil either. They're nothing but chemicals. The ones who feed off those women and use them. They're the ones to hate. Let's go, Zach. We need to find the person who's hiding behind Galena and drag.
Okay, hold on. You ever need anything? What's the buzz, Mr. FBI Special Agent?
Were you thinking about Galena too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states? Zach, I'm right, aren't I? This is a vast country. Incredibly vast. And it's mostly composed of mountains, deserts, and farmland, with small towns scattered about here and there. That's how America looks to me. Compared to the scale of this entire country, New York, Chicago, and LA are all microscopic. Sometimes they even feel like figments of my imagination. Think back to what Las Vegas looked like when we were driving up I-15. It was a mirage. The TV and movies dress up those mirages. Due to the nature of our work, we've had to stay at hotels all over America. But Zach, do you know what I hate most about living out of a hotel? Shower pressure. The shower was invented so that human beings, yet there are far too many hotels in our nation that have showers with embarrassingly weak water pressure. It's an outrage. And I'll keep tooting my horn about this every chance I get, believe you me.
What? You need a... Okay, I'll call her in a jiffy. Why, Vern, the new cutting-edge transportation service.
How's the investigation coming? Must be going well if you're on the case. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, get...
Hey, Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that. Zach, how about we grab a bite to eat? Not even I can think straight on an empty stomach. Hey, Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that.
The air. This is the deep south. I feel it every time that molten hot sun pours down on me. Don't you, Zach?
Hey, Zach. No, nothing. Just felt like saying that. Looks like a kid. Let's come back. The streets in New Orleans were a mess, all busted up and undergoing maintenance. Did you notice it yet? The streets in New Orleans were a mess, all busted up and undergoing maintenance. The city was built on a swamp, so the ground is soft. All it takes is some heavy rain to cave it all in. There were also a lot of places where large tree roots were pushing up parts of the asphalt and the sidewalk. Those bumps were dangerous even when we still had our car, remember? But this town is different. The streets are all paved so cleanly that we can skate along them without a care in the world. And there's hardly any trash or graffiti to be found anywhere. The Clarksons truly do control this place, for better or worse. It's a good example of how allowing certain people to rise to power can have positive effects as well. Also, don't you find that Southern people are remarkably friendly, even to total strangers? Both here and in New Orleans, I've been amazed at how cordial everyone is.
Oh. So, what do you think of my Cajun food, honey?
No complaints here. No wonder you call this restaurant the best Louisiana's got to offer.
Oh, my Lord. Ain't that nice of you? I'm sure glad to hear you like Cajun flavor. It's nothing like that Creole food. And I'll be damned if it isn't the best eating you'll find this side of the Mississippi.
Hold on just one moment, Alexis. I always thought that both Creole and Cajun food were staples of the South. Am I misunderstanding something?
Not at all, honey. Cajun and Creole food are both staples of the South. They both have roots in French cooking, of course. But Creole cooking just ain't my cup of tea. Sauces of France combined with cooking methods brought in from Africa, mixed in with Spanish influences and Italian-style tomato sauce. When you smush all that together, you can't even tell what it is no more. Cajun food is pure and solid. The Acadians who settled in Canada brought it here from France in the 1600s. Then the British chased them off their land and they ran all the way down here. They walked straight across America, north to south. Finally, they found a safe haven right here in southwest Louisiana. Woo! We got everything you'd ever want here. Fresh fish, wildlife, even veggies and fruit. They used their knowledge of French cooking and added some spice and herbs. And then they threw in fresh local ingredients to create what we know as Cajun cuisine.
Interesting. Now I understand what you mean about the Cajun and Creole food being completely different. But I still insist that both are shining examples of delicious local food. Roots and history aren't that important, are they?
Oh my Lord, you don't get it, do you, honey? Lately, there are shops all over the place calling themselves Cajun, Creole, or whatnot. But all they serve is a hot mess of different ingredients loaded with spices. And the tourists ain't none the wiser. I just hate feeling like folks are getting the wrong impression about Cajun food.
I get it now. According to your interpretation, Creole food is contributing to that wrong impression.
You bet it is. That's why I always make sure to teach all my customers what's what.
Hi there. Hi there, handsome. How's your day coming along? Well then, if you'll excuse me, one needs to develop a...
Yes, I know. I know what you're about to say. But that's why we're here. To protect this peace. Isn't that right, Zach? Did you notice it, Pete? The streets in New Orleans were a mess. All busted up and undergoing maintenance. The city was built on a swamp, so the ground is soft. All it takes is some heavy rain to cave it all in. There were also a lot of places where large tree roots were pushing up parts of the asphalt on the sidewalk. Those bumps were dangerous even when we still had our car, remember? But this town is different. The streets are all paved so cleanly that we can skate along them without a care in the world, and there's hardly any trash or graffiti to be found anywhere. The Clarksons truly do control this place. Excuse me, but what are you doing?
Searching.
What are you searching for?
Unknown.
You don't know? Interesting. Zach, this man is the perfect symbol of the human race. We all live out our lives searching for things, yet no one knows what they're actually searching for. That's what it means to be human. Don't you agree, Zach? I feel like that simple declaration of his just awakened us to something.
Receiving transmission beep. Raise.
Looks like a case of bad timing. Let's come back. So, what do you think of him? Yes, I'm talking about him. Unda, is the skeletal gentleman friend or foe? Or does he merely exist outside the realms of either? Still too early to tell. But it's clear that he'll be the key to uncovering this case's mysteries. That's what my soul tells me.